Assalamu alaikum. Today we will continue the second law of thermodynamic which talk about the entropy. بالمحاضرة السابقة تحدثنا عن الانتروبي وحكينا إذا كان في عندي system 1 at hot T1 and we have system 2 at low temperature. So we have heat transfer from T1 to T2 from hot to cold, and this is delta Q. So delta S is the entropy, and in this case, delta Q over T, which equal delta S or the entropy. So there is exist useful thermodynamic variable called entropy, a natural process that starts in one equilibrium state and ends in another will go in the direction that causes the entropy of the system, plus the environment to increase for an irreversible process and remain constant for reversible process. Okay. إذن the entropy final equal the entropy initial, and in this case we called reversible process. And if the entropy, the final entropy greater the initial entropy, this called irreversible process. And always ds the change the change in entropy infinitesimally greater than or equal 0. So, then entropy is a physical quantity that controls the direction of a reversible process. It is a property of state of the system like temperature, pressure, volume, and energy. So, in the principle of the entropy, if an irreversible process occurs in a closed system, the entropy of the system always increases. It never decreases. إذن مبدأ الانتروبي إذا كان عندي أنا irreversible process occurs تحدث في closed system في نظام مغلق, the entropy of the system always increases. إذا راح تزيد الانتروبي and it never decreases. Another statement of the second law of thermodynamics is the total entropy of an isolated system never decreases. Okay, this is another statement of the second law of thermodynamics. So entropy is measure of the disorder of the system. إذا الانتروبي بتغسلنا اللي هي النظام أو الأتومز اللي غير مرتبة. إذا عملنا shuffle للأتومز, so this is the entropy which can be measures. So this gives us yet another statement of the second law. The natural process tend to move toward a state of greater disorder. إذا كان عندي إنها الatoms disorder, then natural process راح تتحرك tends to move toward a state where لما يكون عندي أنا atoms أكثر atoms disorder. إذا entropy is an extensive thermodynamic property. In other words, the entropy of complex system is the sum of the entropies of its part. إذا هي عبارة عن مجموع الانتروبي لكل الأجزاء. Okay. So entropy, the greater the number of possible arrangements, the greater the entropy. كل ما كان number إن ترتيبها إمكانية الترتيب كل ما كانت الانتروبي of the system أكبر. So in other words, there is a large positional probabilities. إذا هي على الاحتماليات. So the positional probability of the entropy increase as solid change from a liquid or as liquid change to gas. إذا الانتروبي بتزيد إذا كان السوليد تحولت لليكويد أو الليكويد تحول لإيش لكاس. So الانتروبي بالسوليد أقل من الانتروبي للليكويد and أقل من الانتروبي للغاز. Example, choose the substance with the higher positional entropy. مثلا عندي CO2 solid or CO2 gas أو عندي N2 gas at 180 m 25 Celsius or N2 gas at 0.0180 m 25 Celsius. So which one the higher of entropy between two molecule or between and from converted from solid to gas or for nitrogen from gas or okay. إذا الانتروبي of the system it's greater in gases than solids. طيب larger volumes of gases than smaller volume. Larger number of gas molecules than smaller number of the gas molecules. So this is in the entropy in the system. And the gas it's greater than solids. Then it's greater in large volume. يكون الحجم أكبر في الجازز than smaller volume. It's greater the number of gas molecule than smaller number of the gas molecules. Example, the second law of thermodynamics leads us to conclude that in total energy of the universe is constant, while disorder in the universe is increasing with the passage of time, while it is theoretically possible to convert heat into work with 100% efficiency, while the average temperature of the universe is increasing with the passage of time. So which one is correct in this statement? Then second law is disorder in the universe is increasing with passage of time. When the system for the irreversible process are closed, the corresponding delta S greater than zero. So in this figure, we have insulating and we have insulating system, and inside the insulating system we have gas and we have thermal reservoir الخزان الحراري. So it can show that the gas and the reservoir from closed system, the entropy change of this closed system found to be zero. إذا عندي أنا insulated, so the entropy it will be zero. So for expansion process, delta S, the change of the total change of the entropy, which equal zero. إذا دلتا S للغاز تساوي the magnitude Q over T, and delta S للreservoir تساوي minus magnitude Q over T. So delta S in this case in a closed system, the change of the total change of the entropy in a closed system, it will be equal zero. Probability of disorder. لو عندك هنا هاي الغرفة شايفينها it's disorder. Many things in this room. So is there a higher probability your room will be messy or neat as time goes on? يعني مش عندك غرفة ولا مخزن، مع الزمن كل ما لقيت شغلة دبيتها بهالمخزن، فمع الزمن إذا راح يكون higher probability of disorder. So entropy is defined as measure of disorder. Okay. إذا مع الزمن هاي الانتروبي شوف many things. إذا فالentropy is defined as measure of disorder. A system such as a room is in a state of high entropy when its degree of disorder is high. As the order within the system increases, كل الأوردر with the system بزيد، الانتروبي شو بصير فيها؟ decreases. So the definition of entropy change for reversible process, reversible delta S, the change of the entropy equal الانتجريشن from I initial to final state لdq على t. And here dq is the increment of heat energy that is transferred into or out of the closed system at temperature T. إذا if the process is isothermal، إذا كانت البروسيس isothermal، إذا دلتا S راح تساوي Q over T. If Q greater than 0، إذا دلتا S also greater than 0. The entropy of that system increases. And if Q equals 0، هذا يعني إنه دلتا S راح تساوي 0. The entropy of that system راح تكون constant. Okay. إذا what is the entropy change for the ideal gas؟ خلينا نأخذ مثالنا اللي هو على الانتروبي على الايديال gas. From the first law نعرف إنه ديو بتساوي دي كيو زائد دي للورك. طيب and دي للورك تساوي minus بي دي في. كمان نعرف إنه ديو تساوي n في specificated constant volume مضروبة في dt du dt دي للwork دي للv. Okay, because this pressure is constant and it's constant, the specific case is constant, so we have change in principle by temperature. إذا عوضناها بالمعادلة السابقة في first law of gases شو بنتج عندي؟ عندي دي كيو راح تساوي بهاي الحالة ان سي في دي تي بدل الورك زائد بي دي في. إذا we arrange this equation ان سي في دي تي زائد ان ار تي over في في دي في. ليش؟ لأنه البريشر بيساوي ان في ار تي في في، بي في في بتساوي ان ار تي from for ideal gas. And if divided by the temperature we obtain dq over t تساوي ncv في dt على t زائد nr في dv على v. طيب إذا عملنا integration from initial to final state, so dq by dt, this is the change of entropy and equal n في sv في n t final ل t initial لما integral للtemperature زائد nr في n V final على V initial. So this temperature only related to initial and final state. إذا في عندنا example مثلا a vessel containing 1.8 kilogram of water is placed in hot plate. Both the water and hot plate being initially at zero temperature, initially at 20 at room temperature. Okay. The temperature of the hot plate is raised very slowly to at which point the water being to boil, and find the temperature of the water, the entropy during this process. Okay. In a solution, we have dqm as dt, and the specific heat for the water تساوي 4186 جيرو كيلوغرام inverse inverse. نعوض في معادلة الانتروبي integration ل dq على t تساوي dt and t final على t initial, which equal in this case this number. Okay. The process can be discussed in this case profitably using the entropy concepts for a reversible process. Then the change of the entropy equal from state to state, from state B to state A تساوي SB minus SA وتساوي integral ل A ل B from A to B ل dq over D over T. If we make integration, the reversible is if it's isothermal, this means the temperature is constant وتساوي delta S تساوي SB minus SA 1 over T في integral from A ل B ل dq وتساوي Q over T. هذا يؤدي إلى Q تساوي T نضرب دار التبادلي Q تساوي T في delta S. So in this case, S increases if the system absorbs heat. Otherwise, S decreases. Then the entropy, it will be increased if it's absorbed heat. Otherwise, the entropy decreases. If the reversible process is adiabatic, what do you mean by adiabatic process? In this case, the change of the entropy which equal 0. Why? Because in a adiabatic process, no heat transfer, and Q equals 0. In this case, delta S راح تساوي إيش؟ 0. إذا reversible isothermal process is entropic but irreversible once the entropy may change. إذا ممكن إنها تتغير. Okay, I will stop at this point and we will continue next lecture. Thank you for your attention.